With Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk, today's main feature comes from the King Power Stadium, Ipswich Town away at Leicester City. Talking us through this one, Barry Kent, who we'll hear from in a moment. He's back alongside your commentator, Brenna Woolley.
Well, neither of these sides has done as well as lots of people were predicting in the first half of the season. Both of them are still in with a chance of achieving their ultimate goal, i.e. an immediate bounce back to the Premier League, especially Ipswich Town, given the run that they're on at the moment. Consecutive wins over fellow challengers Coventry and Stoke have lifted the Blues up to 5th in the table, just a point off third place Millwall and Preston, and only 5 behind Middlesbrough, who are currently 2nd. Well, today's host Leicester find themselves in 13th place. A couple of victories could lift them into the top 6. And saying all of that, wherever these two teams are in the table, this is always going to be a big game in the second tier, and recent meetings have been memorable. When they went up in 1st and 2nd place 2 seasons ago, we had the dramatic late equalisers from Sam Morsey and Jeremy Sarmiento, while last year in the Premier League, I'm sure you remember Calvin Phillips' controversial red card just seconds after Town had a strong penalty appeal turned down. Then of course it was Jamie Vardy's final party here in the spring. I wonder what story will unravel here this afternoon. And Barry, in general, I think we've headed up to this part of the world with a lot more confidence than we might have done 2 weeks ago or so.
Oh, absolutely. After the Blackburn debacle, I think that's not too strong a word for it, where we were extremely fortunate to get anything out of it. There's certainly been a much better feel-good factor, particularly obviously with the win over Coventry, and then to follow that up with Stoke, who are doing quite well this year. We come into this game with, I would suggest, a different frame of mind and a different amount of expectation.
As the two teams come out of the tunnel, down below us, of course, Ipswich Town will be in all red because Leicester City play in blue. Christian Walton out. This will be alongside Dara O'Shea, applauding the 3,000 Ipswich Town fans who've made the 2.5-hour journey up to Leicestershire this morning and early afternoon. They're over in the far left corner of the ground. And if we get to the teams, then 2 changes from the side that beat Stoke in the week. Just Wednesday night, that game, of course. A little bit less recovery time for these players compared to the usual Tuesday midweek game. Sindrawalla Eggley is out of the 20 through illness. Ivan Athon drops to the bench. Clark will play down the right-hand side. And of course, it's George Hurst up top against his former club. So Walton, I mentioned, keeps his place in goal, even though Palmer is on the bench. Town's back four's Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre and Davis. Then you've got Matu Siwa alongside Taylor. They're getting a run of games together. And then the 3 behind Hurst are Clark, Nunez and Philogene. Philogene now Town's leading goal scorer with 7 for the season after another spectacular hit in the week. On the bench alongside Palmer are Kayuste, Athon, Greaves, Johnson, Young, McAteer, Smodix and Akpom. One change from the Leicester City side, which led 2-0 but drew 2-2 with Bristol City in the week. Chowdhury, who's playing slightly out of position at right back, he drops to the bench, and the specialist right back Ricardo comes in place of him. It's the same system as Ipswich Town. There's kind of 4-2-3-1. Stelarczyk is their keeper. They're going to back 4 of Ricardo, Vestergaard, Nelson and Thomas, and then James sits alongside Skip. Then a 3 of Fatawu, D. Cordova Reed and Mavadidi in behind Ayew, who scored a penalty in the week, Jordan Ayew, for his 3rd of the season. On the bench, former Town lone keeper Begovic, Fars, Carenza, Evans, Page, Thomas, Dakar, Aluko and Chowdhury. Do you think we could all have a stab at Kieran McKenna's first choice 11, Barry? Now we're getting a fair idea. He'd never admit it, but I think most of us could probably say what it is, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the back 4 are pretty well established now, particularly Walton, who's done very well since he's come back into the side. I still think the number 10 is slightly up for grabs at the moment, but maybe if Smodix gets a run of games, particularly with his potential to score, then he may make that his own. But certainly, and with Philogene and Jack Clark sort of alternating between the two wing positions, and obviously you've got the young Norwegian lad who's really beginning to establish himself I would imagine at some point, when he becomes more acclimatised to the division, he'll play as a number 10. I can see that coming at some point in the future.
Just on the 10, we were chatting 5 minutes or so ago. You're surprised we maybe haven't seen Kayuste in that area of the park. You might think he might be worth a little crack.
Well,
he's
such a flair player, and with the greatest respect in the world to him, he's not defensively the most adept player. He puts a lot of strain on Matters too when he plays beside him, and he's such a clever player. I thought that might be a position he could play, but look, hey, Kieran sees him every day in training, so obviously that probably is not something that pushes his buttons at the moment.
Taylor's done well, hasn't he, alongside Matussi?
Taylor's done exceptionally well. He did well last year when he used to come on as sub in the Premier League, and to come on as sub at any league is difficult, but to come on in the Premier League, it's really difficult, and I think he's acquitted himself hugely well this year.
Play about to get underway here at the King Power Stadium. A lovely December afternoon, very cold, but it's been bright sunshine. Up until just recently, the lights are on. It's very much a Premier League setup here as they approach the 10th anniversary of their wonderful Premier League victory under Claudio Ranieri. We saw a lovely montage on the screens either side in the build-up to this game. It's a nice place to come and watch football, albeit Town haven't done well here in recent seasons. 23 years almost since they last won on this ground. That was Boxing Day 2002. Last season here in the Premier League, it was a 2-0 defeat. Jamie Vardy amongst the goal scorers as Town rounded off their away campaign in the top tier with a defeat. But they are above Leicester City in the current championship table as Matusiwa gets the ball from Davis. Town, incidentally, in all red, playing from left to right up against the all blue of Leicester. There is Kipre playing with gloves on, gives the ball to Taylor, who just spoke to on the halfway line. He holds off the challenge of Jordan James. Long it goes from O'Shea, trying to get Davis in behind. Davis inside the Leicester area by the byline, the pull back towards Philogene. Philogene controls it well, can't turn and hit, but that was good movement from Town down their right hand side. Now Furlong gives it to Clark on the right. He plays a 1-2 with Nunez back towards Furlong. Some early possession for the visitors who've started brightly. Furlong down the line looking for Clark, headed away by the left back Luke Thomas. Skip gives it infield to James. Decored over Reed, is loose with possession. He passes it straight to Kipre. Now Leif Davis far side, who we heard from earlier on match day. That was easily cut out by Ricardo, the right back. Bright start from Town though, Barry.
That was a bright start, and it's a good cut back just behind Philogene. It was a shame he wasn't running onto it, because that would have been a real chance.
Clark miscontrols the ball. Out on the left-hand side, it's Mavididi, a real star of the promotion side a couple of years ago. In flies O'Shea after Mavididi had initially got the better of Clark and Furlong. Slalomed in between the pair of them, but good work from the captain, who's been on good form of late. There is the number 23, Vestergaard, to the edge of his box, and it's Stolarczyk, the Polish goalkeeper, on the edge of his penalty area. There's Vestergaard, very experienced. Now the 33-year-old Dane, linchpin in this back line. Decored over Reed to the left-hand side. Thomas puts the ball forward, looking for AU, the number 9. The back header from Matusi was touched on by Decored over Reed. Now it's with Skip. James plays it off of Mavididi. Some good football being played by both sides in this opening 2.5 minutes. Nelson along the floor to the far side. It's Fatawu, another bright player on the wing for them a couple of seasons ago. Ricardo gets a bit of good fortune against Philogene, the captain of Leicester. Edge of the area, tries to play a 1-2 Decored over Reed. Well done, Jack Clark, in a good spot, intercepted it. Now Town on the break. Philogene running forward, has next to no support. James goes after him. Philogene still might get to the ball. James slides in and concedes a corner.
The only thing he could do there, young Philogene, he didn't have a great deal of support, as you said, but he held the ball up well, and the tackle came in to give us a corner.
Quite the start of this game. 3 on the clock at the King Power Stadium. Ipswich Town have the first corner kick. Big technical areas down here. Kieran McKenna currently kicking around in the left-sided one underneath us, hands in pockets. Nunez on this early corner kick for Ipswich Town. Leicester have got all 10 blue shirts back in the area off to our right, helping Stelarczyk, and it comes from the Chilean, headed up by a combination of players on the near post. Leif Davis then nods it into the goalie's gloves.
It's a shame, because I thought he could have put a bit more of an angle on that to make it a cross with his head, but unfortunately just dropped gently into the goalkeeper's arms.
Vestergaard to the halfway line, and Thomas towards D. Cordova-Reid. The ball pings around a bit, hopefully in the direction of O'Shea. O'Shea gets it back to the goalkeeper Walton, who has, as Barry was saying a few moments ago, ever so well in the team. Walton, Matusiwa almost loses the ball. Another mistake from Matusiwa. Mavididi has a chance to shoot towards the far corner. It's come off an Ipswich Town player for me. Corner kick to Leicester. A little mistake from Matusiwa there.
Yeah, he's just a bit prone to that at the moment. He's been a wonderful player for us this year. Probably the player of the year, I'd say, so far, in terms of his overall performances. But he's just prone occasionally, and he does it so well so many times that it even highlights it even more when he does make a slight mistake, and that could have been dangerous.
Leicester City, after 4.5 minutes, have their first corner kick of this championship fixture. It's James, the Welsh international, over in the far left corner by the Town fans, who pulls it back to Ricardo. Ricardo's cross comes into the Ipswich area, headed away powerfully by Davis, controlled on the right thigh by Clark. Tried to lift it over his man, that was a mistake. Leicester have a shot from distance deflected. Walton's behind it comfortably.
Yeah, just didn't really do what he needed to do there, Jack Clark. Tried to play a little bit on the edge of his own area.
0-0. Just after 5 minutes gone, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Our penultimate game before Christmas. Town at home to Sheffield Wednesday next Saturday. And then 2 more away games off the back of that. Millwall, who are still doing ever so well, up in 4th place. That is where we go on Boxing Day. And then the leaders Coventry host Ipswich on the 29th of December. Davison field to Matusiwa. Got between a couple of players, then had to win a 50-50, which he's managed to do. Davis then guides the ball back towards Walton. Short out towards O'Shea, who looks up, holds on to the ball. The referee, incidentally, this afternoon, Thomas Kirk, who did the win over Norwich in October. Kipre, the early goal scorer in that game, or the first goal scorer, should I say, puts one over the top for Davis, but has too much pace on it.
Well, it's the right ball, just a bit too much pace. Good run from Leaf from deep.
Norwich, incidentally, winning at lunchtime, beating Southampton. Preston won at Oxford. Stoke beat Swansea. And last night, West Brom got the better of Sheffield United. Headed on by Fatawu, probably out of play on the far side. It will be once it's shielded in that direction by O'Shea. This throw-in goes back to Walton. Town with 5 clean sheets in their last 10, neither one of which they've lost. That defeat at Oxford was a rarity for Ipswich Town in this run. That's what's got them up into the top 5. A point from this game might be enough to take them into 3rd place if Millwall were to lose this afternoon. Long from Taylor down the left-hand side for Davis. He's gone after that one. Lifts it over the top of Ricardo. Ricardo then heads it away. Touched up and just kept in play by Leicester on the far side, but almost given possession to Ipswich Town, which they've managed to do. Matusiwa to Nunez. One touch to Kipre. On the centre spot, Dara O'Shea, the Ipswich Town captain. Square to Furlong. Down the line to Clark, this near side. Clark helps it on to Nunez. They have started in tandem earlier on this season against the likes of Southampton and Preston, Philogene and Clark. It hasn't always been one or the other. Good ball to the right hand side for Leicester. Here is that Fatawu. Fatawu switches play to Mavididi, former Juventus player on the left corner of the Ipswich area. Too heavy a touch from Thomas. Gets it in field to D. Cordova-Reid. Sets himself and scores a beautiful goal. What a hit that is from all of 30 yards. Nothing Walton could do after 8 minutes. A wonderful strike from Bobby D. Cordova-Reid gives Leicester City the lead.
It's very fortunate the way it came about. There's a bit of a scramble over on this near side, and the ball broke to Cordova-Reid. But once it broke, he lined it up with his right foot, and Christian Walton never saw it from here. We could see he actually started to dive after the ball had gone past him. So that was the power that it had. that's not a great start. They really need to show their mettle now, because the last thing you wanted was for Leicester to get in front, the crowd to get behind them, and now we've really got to dig in now and try and get something back as soon as we can.
Pretty much 30 yards. It's a fabulous goal, isn't it?
Absolute cracking.
Swinging away from Walton.
Yeah, no chance.
All 11 Ipswich Town players got themselves into a team talk huddle in the centre of their half, while pretty much all of the Leicester side, bar the goalkeeper, celebrated near side. Just the start Leicester wanted. They're ahead 1-0. Skip gives it to Thomas. Here is Mavididi. Had a little bit of time at Arsenal earlier on in his career, Steffi Mavididi. Ball down the line to Ayew. Ayew rolls away from a couple of Town players, O'Shea and Clark. Ayew wide left, the number 9. Nothing to hit in the centre. So intelligently gave the ball back to Thomas, the left back. Leicester pinging it around the left-hand side, can't be kept in. Overplayed it rather in the end, much to Ipswich Town's relief. Throw-in.
Absolutely. Yeah, but they do. The football they're playing at the moment, Leicester, I know they're at home and they've got the benefit of this early goal, but even in the first couple of minutes, they were certainly moving the ball really well, which belies a bit where they sit in the league at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. They've looked really good. It's been a good game so far. Town behind on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Nice little run of 3 out of 4 away from home. Furlong with this throw just down in front of us as the camera zoom in on Marti Cifuentes, the 47-year-old Spaniard in charge of Leicester. Left QPR after 2 seasons at the end of last year. He's managed all over the place before that in his native Spain. He's been in Norway, Denmark and Sweden before the hierarchy at Loftus Road took a punt on him. He's out waving his right hand around. Kieran McKenna is calm and motionless as ever, really. Here is Vestergaard. Nunez closes him down. He just bends the ball around him to Nelson. England under 18 international Ben Nelson, now 21. Here is Mavididi. Here for Tawu are very good wide players at this level. Jack Clark's doing a good defensive job on Mavididi. Mavididi turning one way then the other. Infield from Skip, almost loose. The goal scorer decoyed over Reed, just stretched and guided it back to Vestergaard. There is Fatawu. Also take on Philogene, giving him a bit of his own medicine. Good running from Fatawu. There he is again, running it now. Leif Davis. Comes off Davis, corner kick to Leicester. Remember, these 2 wide players have been very good 2 seasons ago, and they're looking lively this afternoon, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are, and he was very direct. He ran away from Jayden there and then attacked Leif, who did very well to shepherd him out for a corner, but another dangerous situation. I mean, they've got some very big defenders, Leicester, who have all come forward, needless to say.
Town trailing 1-0 at the King Power Stadium. Corner kick to Leicester City. 12 minutes gone, and it comes left-footed, glanced off the top of Dara O'Shea, I think. For me, this is a Leicester throw-in. Yeah, the referee agrees.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6 yards from the corner flag. All 10 red shirts still back in Walton's penalty area. Off to our left-hand side as Luke Thomas tries the yellow ball wrapped up inside his blue shirt. Forward he comes. He's got a good, decent length of run-up for this throw-in, Thomas. Vestergaard and Hurst battling on the near post. Vestergaard looking towards the referee but not getting any sympathy. Here comes the throw from Thomas. Vestergaard tried the flick on header, headed away by the Town back line. It's another throw to Leicester, who've started this game well. Only 3 wins here out of 9 on this pitch so far this season. James knocks the ball into the Ipswich area, stooping to head away as O'Shea. Clark does well to stretch and control, but then runs into traffic. Nelson takes it off of him. Leicester with more possession inside the Ipswich Town half. They're really up for this game and looking a good side, Leicester City. Vestergaard to Thomas, gives it short to Mavididi, up against Clark. Clark and Philogene both having to do a fair bit of defensive work early on in this game. Here goes Mavididi again down the left-hand side, up against Clark. Slips. Clark keeps his eye on the ball and toes it out.
We can't get out at the moment, can we?
No.
They're playing very well.
They are, as you said, in summarising the goal, they have that early lead as well, Leicester. Because there must be the feeling if Leicester were to lose this, they'd have a massive game for the manager, should I say, back at QPR in a week's time. Put a completely different complexion on things if he can navigate their way to 6 points in these 2 games compared to if they don't get anything. They might be under some pressure. O'Shea up into the air. The ball had gone out of play before he headed it onto Hurst. And then Hurst kicks it away. A play for a throw to Leicester City again. It's a while since the ball's been in the Leicester half off to our right-hand side. A bit of exerted pressure coming from Leicester. Thomas trying to maximise his run-up on this near side for this throw-in. Midway inside the Ipswich Town half. It's going to travel into the box. Vestergaard trying to get the flick onto A, who turns, hits it, comes off the knee of Kipre. It goes out behind for a corner kick. Quickly, let's go back to Graham.
A couple of Kyle Joseph goals. Millwall 0, Hull 2 already.
Wow, Hull are a funny side.
I think that was on its way in, actually, Brenner.
I think it was, wasn't it?
Kipre hadn't have... it was a very clever little touch by Ayew, and it looked... it was so close to Walton. I don't think he could have reacted in time, but it was a good job that Kipre managed to get a knee or a thigh to it.
Yeah, it could easily have been 2-0. We were right behind that one. The referee currently having a word with Ayew about something or other. Pretty smart little keepy-uppy touch and turn and hit from him. Matussi was there as well, who, according to my reckonings, on 9 yellow... He's not going to get a 10th one now, Matussi, but just want to remember he's on 9 yellow cards, so one more for him and he misses a couple of games. Well, it'll come at some stage in the next week or two, won't it?
Sure as night follows day.
James with a corner kick into the centre, somehow smuggled out behind, and Towner got the bonus. It came off a Leicester player in the end, but again, that was rather worrying.
Yeah, but to be fair to Walton, he did come and manage to take the sting out of it, and a bit of fortune that went off a Leicester player, but no real threat at that point. But we just need to get hold of the ball for 2 minutes just to push them back a little bit, because at the minute it's all one way.
It is, isn't it? Walton with a kick into the Leicester half, but Leicester get the ball back. Decoed over Reid with way too much on that. Not sure who he saw out wide. Trying to have a throw in at right back, but Town, as Barry hinted out there, just can't get a hold of the ball at the moment or really get it into the Leicester half for any length of time. Furlong with this throw in near side. Leicester lead 1-0. Decoed over Reid with a cracking goal after 8 minutes. Philogene-esque it was from that kind of range. Flicked on by Clark, but only to Ricardo. Closed down by Philogene. Ricardo gets it to Fatawu. Only one thing in mind, that's to run with the ball as quickly as he can. He's got it down the far touchline, the Leicester right, then left-footed, plays it into the middle. Headed up by O'Shea, brought down by Mavididi. Lovely first touch, plays a 1-2 with Thomas. Mavididi has it again, back to Thomas. Good play this from Leicester. Out behind, off of Clark. Towner playing what looks like a very good side this afternoon.
Brilliant first touch there. Wasn't by it? Just brought the ball down out of the air and then played in the left back, and good covering. But again, another corner, and again, we can't seem to get out just at the moment. Just need somehow to get hold of the ball and have it for a minute or so, just to take a bit of the sting out of it.
Corner kick to Leicester. James has both hands in the air. That's the signal from the on-loan midfielder. Puts it beyond the far post to Skip. Skip knocks it into a potentially dangerous area, but actually in the end straight at Christian Walton. So that'll do very nicely.
Yeah, that was very fortunate, because he could have actually taken a touch on that, but he tried to play a first-time half volley, and it had nothing on it at all. Thankfully, went into the hands of Christian Walton.
Town have put together 3 passes inside the half. There's a fourth one. O'Shea to Kipre. Kipre back to Furlong, closed down by Mavididi. Now Ayew's after O'Shea. O'Shea goes to ground. Ayew caught him late. O'Shea's wincing, maybe holding his Achilles. He's up on his feet though.
Take more than that to knock him down, I would suggest.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. 2 big strong boys at the back for Ipswich Town. The other one, Cedric Kipre, has the ball now. He moves it on to Taylor. Taylor along the floor to Philogene. Town have the ball in the Leicester half, far side. Philogene just dabs it back off the outside of his right boot to Jack Taylor. Then Kipre into the centre. O'Shea, now Furlong, down the line to Clark. Hasn't been able to do much attacking Clark. Clark almost gives it away and goes AU on O'Shea. Referee says play on. Philogene for Ipswich Town in red, looking for an equaliser, 30 yards from goal. Skips away from Fatawa, who trips him, free kick. Chance for Ipswich Town to maybe do something here against the run of play.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fact we've had the ball now for about 30 seconds is something. It's just taken a little bit of that pressure off. And now it's a good free kick position, not one that Nunes could score from. In fact, he hasn't gone across to it. It'll be a Leif Davis cross by the look of it.
Davis over this attacking free kick for Ipswich Town. 19 minutes gone. Ipswich trailing 1-0 at a chilly King Power Stadium. Davis has a chance to deliver this ball left-footed into the Leicester penalty area off to our right-hand side. Number 3 staring in that direction. In comes his left-footed cross. It's a really good one. O'Shea should have found the target. Wouldn't have counted. The flag was up fairly early. Offside against Ipswich, but good delivery from Davis.
Great delivery from Davis, and good run by O'Shea. I didn't see the flag immediately. I thought we've wasted a chance there, but you were stretching a wee bit, to be fair to him.
Yeah,
he couldn't really get much purchase on the ball.
Goal kick to Leicester, 1-0 their lead live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Every kick of every Ipswich Town game. Stolarczyk, the number 1 for a little while now here at Leicester. In the end, he's letting Vestergaard play it short to him, and then right-footed. He'll go long to the centre spot where O'Shea beats AU in the air. Nodded up by Davis, won aerially by the number 6 James, clipped forward by Ricardo. Nice control from Fatawa, then lifts it over the top of Taylor, takes it on his thigh, reverse pass finds James. The crowd like that. James running down the right wing, low ball into the edge of the area, looking for AU, touched away by Kipre. Thomas goes after Clark. Clark's worked his way across to the far side, the Ipswich Town left, and won his side of throw-in.
He did well there, Clark, because he had nothing on at all, and he was surrounded by Leicester players, so he did very well.
Yeah, it's been hard for him so far. They're a good pair, Thomas and Mavididi, and he's having to keep an eye on Jack Clark. Done well for the most part. Ricardo robs Taylor. Fatawa down the right-hand side, touched it on far too far in advance.
Yeah, he's definitely a danger. As you say, they're 2 wide players are the ones that seem to be the ones who are going to create something. I don't see too much. The midfield is quite hard-working midfield. Don't see too much flair there, but certainly the 2 wide players, and then Cordova Reid and AU as well. Offensively, they've got some weapons in their armoury.
Yeah, they have. They were massive for them 2 years ago. The 2 wide boys. I think at that stage, Fatawa was just on loan, but now fully fledged Leicester player. Still only 21, so 18-19 the season they got promoted.
Yeah.
But really come into his own. He looks a real threat at this level now. Actually, it's amazing how many players are still at Leicester compared to Ipswich Town, who've hardly got any from their promotion. This is one of them on the ball now, Christian Walton of 2 years ago. So many Leicester players went up the last time around, still at the club. A couple of different managers since those days as well. Ruud van Nistelrooy the last time we were up against Leicester.
Yes, indeed.
Here is Philogene, far side. Plays it up towards Davis with a bit of disguise. Leicester get the ball away, but only as far as Matusiwa, who finds Philogene. Philogene shaped across, comes in field instead. In comes the challenge from Fatawa. Could have broken to Mavididi, but it went to Furlong, thankfully. Darragh O'Shea just signalling to his colleagues to calm things down. Ipswich have possession, 1-0 down. Percy McAteer from this town sub-bench, having a couple of reunions with his former Leicester colleagues underneath us. Davis plays the ball into the Leicester box. Back header from Nelson was risky. Nunez almost seized upon it, but cleared away by Thomas, who'd come in field. Ricardo looks for James. Jordan James, who was a teammate alongside Azor Matusiwa last season. Both of them played together in the Rennes midfield. That's where James is on loan from. Was linked to Ipswich in the summer, actually, the former Birmingham player, but has come here on loan instead as Kieran McKenna looks at something on his iPad down below us. He said so far second best. Leicester have started this game well. We're beyond the midway point in this first half now. The goal scorer, D. Cordova-Reid, gives the ball to Ricardo, the Portuguese, who clears down the far touchline, hooked back over his head by Davis. In goes Nunez to win it against Skip. Taylor, as Mavididi is upended. Home fans appealing for a free kick, not given. Dara O'Shea to the centre spot. Taylor quickly forward to Matusiwa. Then he finds Kipre. Better this from Ipswich Town. Kipre to the left-hand side and Davis. This is more like it. Good approach play from Town. Is there an end product? Azo Matusiwa, edge of the area. Plays it into the box to Clark, who stretches. Clark, can he get his shot away? Gives it to the right-hand side and Furlong just too much on it. It's a real shame because there's some lovely football in there.
There was some lovely football in there. That's the only... I mean, I think Matusiwa's been probably our player of the season, as I said earlier. He doesn't have a pot, and I thought he might have had a pot there. He opened his body up, got onto his right foot, but he didn't have a go there. It's a good ball to Clark, but it's a very difficult ball for Clark. They just overplayed it to Furlong.
I was thinking the same thing he should have done as well. Nobody could have criticised him as well either, because he was in a good position. Nunez, good interception by Vestergaard. Then Mavididi takes it away from the Chilean up towards Ayew. Ayew upended by Kipre, was he? Yes, says the referee. Free kick to Leicester in the centre. Ayew has stayed down. Now he's up on his feet. Ghanaian limping away. Free kick which Skip is going to be taken. Back to Vestergaard. Square to Nelson. Nelson to Fatawu, helping it down the far touchline, but out of play away from James. Through to Ipswich Town. And with two changes, Athon has been replaced by Hurst, and Sindraweiler-Eggley is out through illness. Jack Clark has taken his place. This is how Town played it a fair bit in pre-season, with Clark down the right, Philogene down the left. Here is now Leif Davis getting ready to take this throw in. Clearly a lot of respect between the two managers, the way they spoke about each other pre-match, Kieran McKenna and Marty Cifuentes. Skip caught by Nunez, again the referee right on the spot to give Leicester that free kick. Haven't seen much of Nunez in this game really. Vestergaard,
no, very quiet,
striding out from the back, down the line to his left back, Thomas, back to the tall Vestergaard. He plays a 1-2 with Skip. Back it goes to Oliver Skip, almost robbed by Nunez. Eventually bends the ball to Nelson, back to Stolarczyk. Darnell Furlong heads it to halfway. The back header from Clark should reach Nunez. The ball goes up his body, but he can't control it under pressure from Skip. Out for a throw to Leicester City. Thrown in towards D. Cordova-Reid. Now back with Stolarczyk. Casey McAteary actually scored in this fixture for Leicester last season, after Jamie Vardy has got the goal that we all expected him to get at some stage. Nelson towards halfway. Hurst's gone after him. George Hurst's not really been involved at all so far in this game. Matusiwa to Nunez. Nunez just dropping into a little hole in midfield. Wide on the right-hand side, Clark has it up against Mavididi. Comes in field. D. Cordova-Reid watches him. Clark then finds Kipre. O'Shea's the easy ball in the centre circle. Then Matusiwa to his right-hand side. Back it goes to Kipre. Town with some possession just inside the Leicester half. Kipre up to Philogene. Tripped by Fatawu. Free kick Ipswich.
Yeah, they've got Atari doubling up on Philogene, but unfortunately he's not a great tackler. That's twice he's tripped him up when he should have just stood off him.
It's a free kick which Davis will take in a very similar position to his last one as well. And O'Shea was flagged for offside. These are the sort of things that Town practice an awful lot. I watched them doing this in the hour before kick-off, with numerous members of the coaching staff. Now it's Leicester defenders out there. Free kick to Town, in it comes from Davis, headed away by Ayew as far as Matusiwa, who hits it, blocked off by Skip. He certainly hit that one, had a go for goal.
He did, and it was on the way, but it was a great block by Skip, to be fair.
Cifuentes very animated in his technical area. Long it goes from Furlong to the edge of the Leicester box. O'Shea nods it down towards Hurst. Good chance from Vestergaard. Comes down to the chest of Kipre, who hits it left-footed but not very well. Cleared away by Leicester. A couple of half chances there for Town, who put a bit of pressure on Leicester here.
Yes, Hurst couldn't just quite tip it over him, but did well there.
Davis, in comes his cross. Touched away by Nelson. Could let it go to Salarczyk. Breakdown in communication. Leicester get away with it. Matusiwa spoons it to Furlong on halfway. Clark on the right wing for Ipswich Town, up towards Hurst, easily intercepted by Vestergaard. Decode over Reid to the left-hand side, and Mavididi. Clark's gone after him. It's a good battle between those two. Mavididi gets a nudge in the back from Clark, then Clark slides in. And it's out for a goal kick. That looked like a corner to me.
Well played, Clark, because O'Shea was completely out of position. He was still jogging back. Well, he wasn't jogging back, but he just couldn't get back quickly enough to recover, and Clark did an exceptional job there.
And he got the added bonus of not giving away a corner kick.
Yeah, he's right. It was a goal kick. It went under the...
So standing on the foot on the ball, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In the end, Mavididi, it was excellent work from Clark, who's had to do a lot of good stuff defensively against one of those flying Leicester wingers. Here is George Hurst, surrounded by players, couldn't hold on to it. Leicester have a chance to break. James to Fatawu. Back comes Leif Davis, who'd got forward. Good pace from Davis to hold up Fatawu. Ricardo applauds with his hands above his head as Fatawu got the ball back to him. Now Nelson, risky ball, hasn't worked out. Clark steps on it, but Clark gives it straight to Skip. Skip through to James inside the Ipswich area. James goes down eventually in stages. It's a free kick for a trip by Taylor right on the edge of the box. Certainly wasn't going to be a penalty.
No, he definitely, the tackle was just outside the box, and it looked like he was going to keep his feet, which in retrospect was lucky that he tumbled over, because he was in on goal, coming in from the 6-yard box.
Yeah, he was. He's got 5 goals so far this season. That's an excellent return from one of those two holders in midfield. When you think that the players that have played in there for Ipswich Town have yet to score, Matusiwa, Taylor or Kiyuste. James on 5 and Skip's weighed in with 1. Just couldn't keep his footing there, and the referee was spot on. The challenge was outside the box. Taylor with a yellow card is 4th of the season. You have to get to 10 now, incidentally, before you get a ban. We've gone beyond the cut-off for 5 yellows, meaning a 1-game ban. Walton, already beaten once in this game, on his goal line off to our left-hand side, sorting out his 3-man wall. Free kick to Leicester, just a yard outside the Ipswich Town penalty area, right of centre. I think it's Fatawu over this one. He hits it in towards the near post. Well saved by Walton. It was on target.
Good save by Walton. Very good positioning.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, perfect position, and he could go to his near post.
Let's go back to Graham for goal news.
Birmingham City 1, Charlton 0, Wrexham 1, Watford 1, Middlesbrough head at home to QPR 1-0.
Charlton have tumbled down the table since their terrific win for them at Portman Road not that long ago.
Yep.
But since then, that Town have got themselves in this run of 1 defeat in 10. Poor pass from Nunez straight at Ricardo. Nelson then turns it back to Salarczyk, praised by his manager. Vestergaard threw a little gap towards Nelson, and actually beat Nelson, but reached Ricardo on the far side. He plays it off of Fatawu and gets it back. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sports. Still that terrific strike from D. Cordova-Reid, the difference between these two sides. Nelson up towards Fatawu, miscontrolled it, almost turned into a layoff. Leicester win it back through James. James tries to thread it through, but O'Shea is there. It comes out to Ricardo. Ricardo into the box for Ayew, blocked off well by Azor Matusiwa in behind. Leicester get it again. They're a good side. Fatawu trying to take on Davis. Maybe a chance for Ricardo. Hits it across the face of goal. It wouldn't have counted there. The referee had blown up for a foul on Leif Davis by Fatawu.
Yeah, he bundled him over into the box. But again, you can see when they come forward, Leicester, they're very, very mobile, very quick, that front 4.
They are. They look like a side that can certainly get themselves up there based on what we've seen so far. There's a real smile on his face. Really nice, the interaction actually between Fatawu and Leif Davis, who we all know from our own experience as a top lad. Two of them had a right old smile as they picked each other up off the ground there. It was good to see. Here is Furlong. playing the ball down the right wing, but away from Clark. Well overhit by the former West Brom player. Thomas in field for Leicester. They've got it on the edge of their penalty area, now inside their box, back to Stelarczyk. A few things for Kieran McKenna to ponder when half-time whistle goes. We're still at least 12 minutes away from it. Nunez to Jack Clark, one of those two changes. Puts the ball back to Christian Walton. Walton goes long for Philogene, trying to get goal side of Ricardo. Good control from Philogene under pressure. He's done very well.
Brilliantly taken.
Philogene has it on the left wing for Ipswich Town. In comes his early cross over the top of Hurst, not Vestergaard, who heads it away strongly, controlled by Taylor. Kipre to Jack Taylor outside the Leicester area, gives it to Philogene inside the box, goes away from his man towards the byline, tries to play it into the centre, but he's skewed out behind for a goal kick.
That's a bit better. That was a very penetrating ball there that got Jayden on his way. Just a shame he couldn't get the angle on the cross, but a lot better.
What do you make of his goals this season? And another one to add to the collection on Wednesday night. He can hit a ball, can't he?
Yeah, they're untrue. I mean, you know, to get one like that, you might be lucky. Two,
yes,
unbelievably lucky. But to get those sort of goals, you know, on a relatively regular basis, fantastic.
Kipre on the halfway line, tries to give it to O'Shea, intercepted by Ayew. Not good play that from Ipswich Town. Fatawu wanted the early ball. Thankfully Ayew didn't spot him, because Town would have been in lots of trouble there. Philogene has the ball on the far side through the legs of James, who gets back and wins it. Dogged character. Good play from James. Popular player here. Desperately keen to sign him next summer if he carries on at this rate. Back to Stelarczyk. Leicester building from the back. The ball's in their left back area with Thomas. Back to Stelarczyk. This time it's a first time clearance for him, but it's straight out of play. Marty Cifuentes tries to communicate something to Fatawu far side. Dara O'Shea with 9.5 minutes of normal time to go at the end of this first half. At this rate, I wouldn't imagine there'd be too much added on time beyond the 45. It's flowed pretty well this game. Here is Cedric Kipre getting the ball across the field towards Clark. Thomas heads it away from him into touch near side for a throw that Darnell Furlong takes. Here's Azor Matusiwa, measures a ball to Kipre. Fatawu straight behind him. Walton from outside his penalty area. It takes a couple of tentative touches and then lets the ball fly to Leif Davis far side. Ricardo challenges him. The ball goes to Fatawu. Taylor's gone across there to help out. Nunez picks up the loose ball on halfway, driving forward for Ipswich Town, looking for an equaliser in this first half. He gets inside the area, down the left channel. Nunez still has the ball into the centre to Clark. Well saved by Stelarczyk. A real chance for Ipswich Town. It was laid on a plate for Clark. He hit it first time left-footed from around about 12 yards out, and the keeper got down quickly and stopped it.
Yeah, didn't, unfortunately. I mean, it's an instinctive strike, which, to be fair to him, in the middle of the penalty area, you're always going to take, but never really got hold of it. I mean, either side, you know, old adage, but either side, it's a goal, but that's a lot better.
Philogene running at Ricardo, getting inside the Leicester box, gets to the byline, puts it across the face of goal, but out the other end for a throw to Leicester. Almost an equaliser from nowhere for Ipswich Town, very close.
Yeah, a little bit better now. They've kept the Leicester out of the Ipswich half, which was, you know, half the battle, and now they're just beginning to penetrate a little bit. Great shame. Good work by Nunez there.
It was, wasn't it? Here is Thomas with a throw in for Leicester City. With 37.5 minutes on the clock. Chested down by Furlong. Clark tries to touch it on. Cleared out by Thomas. For this throw, and it was Thomas Gardser and Darren Ambrose, the goal scorers, the last time Ipswich Town won here. Infield it goes from O'Shea to Kipre. One touch from Davis to Taylor in midfield. Much better from Town at the moment, getting to grips with things. Davis far side, the left. In comes an early cross, volleyed up and square from Nelson. Can't be kept in play. It's out for a Town throw outside the Leicester penalty area, as again Kieran McKenna walks back to have a little look at his screen down below us. Davis throws the ball to Philogene, tight to the byline. Back it goes to Davis, into the area to Matusiwa. He lays it off for Taylor, but intercepted by James. James finds Ayew. Ayew up to the halfway line for Leicester. Lots of ground to cover as the red shirts of Ipswich come back. Ayew skipped away from O'Shea. Ayew still running down that right-hand side. Gets a ball into the box, which he shouldn't have been allowed to do, but Furlong was there and clears out.
He did very well there, Ayew. He had O'Shea and Davis on him, and he still managed to get the cross in. Luckily there wasn't a great deal on it, and not too many kept up with him, but excellent play from Ayew.
It was very impressive. Ricardo with a throw-in for Leicester City. Onto the left thigh of Fatawu, challenged by Kipre. Back it goes to Skip, who stretches and gives it to James. Fatawu down the line towards Ricardo. Leif Davis goes to ground and out it goes. It was a nice intricate play by Leicester, but nothing other than a throw-in outside the Ipswich area.
Yeah, sharp pass in there again though, you know.
Yeah, definitely got those 4 players in attacking areas, all technically very good, all exciting. Throw for Leicester. Ricardo, the captain, has it. They have one change before kick-off. Ricardo was. Been at the club a few years now. Philogene back behind left back, clears the ball off of Ricardo and into touch.
Yeah, it's been a little better the last 5-6 minutes. We've been putting a little bit together, and of course we had the Jack Clark chance. But once Leicester seemed to get into our half, they're very difficult to keep away from the ball. Technically, as you said, their front 4 are excellent, and that's something, you know, they've really got to be aware of.
Philogene with a back header, nodded forward though by Vestergaard of Leicester. It's over the top of Taylor, headed out far side by Leif Davis. Final 5 minutes of this first half at the King Power Stadium. Ipswich Town still trailing 1-0 as they have been since the 8th minute. Cracking goal from De Cordova-Reid. Fatawu coming in field, edge of the air, has a go, deflects off Taylor, might drop to Mavididi in the box, headed away by Furlong. Out for a throw again to Leicester.
Did well there, Furlong, because he had 2 players, one in front and one behind him.
Thomas again winding up his throw in from this near side of the field. Forward he comes. And it flies to the Ipswich Town area, headed down by Kipre. Came off the back of his head, but it dropped down wonderfully well for Walton behind him.
It took all the pace off it and just dropped like a little dolly catch for Christian.
Davis back to Kipre. Now Matusiwa sitting in front of that Town back line, carries the ball forward 10, maybe 15 yards. Now to the halfway line, the Dutchman still has it, looks forward. Gets it to Nunez. Nunez with a slight touch finds Clark. Have to play it back to Dara O'Shea. Philogene and Davis both want the ball far side. O'Shea can't find them at the moment. Maybe Kipre can. Yes, he gets it. Bouncing along the deck to Philogene, who can have a run at Fatawu. Also there is De Cordova-Reid doubling up on Philogene. O'Shea finds Furlong. Must have everybody back behind the ball, which is pretty much on halfway. O'Shea to Clark. Clark first time onto Nunez. Little back heel from Nunez. O'Shea plays it forward poorly, straight at Ricardo. Gets away from a couple of Ipswich Town players and tries to head over Walton from pretty much halfway. Has he scored a brilliant goal? Oh my goodness me! One of the greatest goals I have ever seen! From the halfway line, Fatawu puts it over the top of Walton and into the back of the net. That is stunning. Silence in the King Power Stadium before the celebrations erupted. A moment of true genius has put Leicester City 2-0 up.
That was, I was going to say Beckham-esque, but I think that was beyond that. That was fantastic. I didn't think anybody in the stadium apart from him actually saw that it was on. What a fantastic goal that was.
Just watching the replay where he hits it from. Oh, he's hit it from 10-15 yards inside his own half. Oh, unbelievable. genuinely at least 12, maybe 15 yards inside his own half, over the top of Walton.
Yeah, that's got to be between 65 and 70 yards from goal, I'd say. That's phenomenal.
Bounced up into the roof of the net. Wow. Gutting in the sense it's put Leicester 2-0 up, but to see something like that in front of your eyes is so memorable. You feel fortunate to watch something like that. Outstanding from Fatawu. After Town had just had a little spell without being a real wild. Clark forced to save from Stalacic, but not causing lots of goal-mouth action Ipswich Town, but wow.
In fairness, nor would Leicester.
No, they hadn't. No, they just looked nice in little patches.
That's right, yeah. But I mean, that was just, I mean, we loved it when Jayden scored wonder goals, but that was a wonder goal. That was.
Well, exactly. De Cordova-Reid's was a tap-in by comparison to the second goal from Leicester City, who are 2-0 up. Fatawu ball into the box. We'd highlighted how good these Leicester wingers are, but what we meant was like their trickery, their running with the ball, their pace.
Yep.
Not necessarily scoring from 15 yards inside their own half. It was one of those slow motion things, and I thought Walton was going to get there, and just so difficult from his perspective, running back, trying to judge the flight, wasn't it?
And it was so well hit, and because it was so accurate because it bounced before it went into the net, didn't it?
Yeah. Matusiwa to Taylor. Philogene, edge of the area. Can Town get a goal back late in the first half? Philogene inside the box, but it's on his left side, sadly. Gives it back to Taylor. Town have got a lot of work to do to get their first win here for a long time. 3 minutes of added on time to be played. Most of it the understandable celebrations to that second goal. Kipre back to the left-hand side, Davis. Here is Philogene will have a go. Oh, he wasn't far away. He got it out from under his feet, and you almost expect those to go in nowadays.
Yeah, he got a nice bit of dip on it as well, but unfortunately just past the right-hand post. The goalkeeper was definitely scrambling, but no.
What is it about this? We've seen 2 or 3 goals like that. Richarlison scored one.
Yes.
There was the Scotland one as well.
Yes,
There was another one recently. All of a sudden, you used to see one of them. I think it tended to be Xabi Alonso for Liverpool. Got
That's
one
right.
or two. There was Beckham, but you'd see like one every 2-3 seasons.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden, this season,
I think it's the fact that goalkeepers are, by nature now, because of the way that teams play, much further out. Whereas, we're going back to when Beckham scored. I think it was Neil Sullivan, the Wimbledon goalkeeper. I mean, he literally was on his own penalty spot, and he couldn't get back.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's all of a sudden this season an unbelievable number. For me, that's as good as any of them.
Yes.
To have seen it in the flesh. Wow. Town 2-0 behind. Davis gives the ball to Taylor. I'd love to know what those Town fans think of that moment. All 3,000 of them. Their side 2-0 behind. There is Kipre. Dara O'Shea. Here is Darnell Furlong. Final 90 seconds of the added on 3 minutes. Leicester in the centre of the park with James. Fatawu's making a run. He's going to get the ball, brings it down on the outside of his left boot. How he must be feeling at the moment. He gives it back to Ricardo, then to James. James, edge of the area, finds Ayew, ball back into the box, but away from Ricardo. Well, it's been some first half for Leicester City here at the King Power Stadium. Ipswich Town rather shell-shocked at the moment. Dara O'Shea brings the ball out of the Ipswich Town penalty box. Goes square to Cedric Kipre. Ayew closes him down. Then O'Shea goes forward early, but straight to Ricardo. Fatawu, one or two Leicester fans were shouting shoot as he was closed down 20 yards inside his own half. And even now the goalkeeper, when he's got it, they shout and shoot to Stalacic. O'Shea cushions his header back towards Walton, who obviously Leicester fans are now taking the mickey out of. Well, 15 seconds of the first half to go. Town trailing 2-0. Kipre to Philogene. Philogene wanting to take on James, plays it down the line to Davis, who'd gone in front of him. Infield to Taylor. Town's last chance this to get a first half goal, but they've got to get the ball into the box off to our right, fairly sharp. Clock is ticking down as Davis comes infield. That's it for the first half. Job well done for Leicester City. Well, De Cordova-Reid got the ball rolling with a terrific goal after 8 minutes, and while Fatawu on 43 took it to a whole new level by scoring from 10-15 yards inside his own half of the field. An absolutely unbelievable goal for Leicester City has put them 2-0 ahead. What did you make of that, Barry Kent?
Well, it was overall it was a fairly tight tit for tat sort of half, but the two goals make a difference. Of course they did, it's obvious, but they're two very, very good, well, one very, very good strike and a wonder strike. On the overall play, other games it would have been 0-0 and you'd have been quite happy thinking you've got a chance to go and do something in the second half, but I mean really it's got to be an exceptional performance now to get something back here, particularly the way Leicester are rattling those goals in. Blimey, unbelievable.
In the terms of Ipswich Town, I mean, they're up against a side that's probably in a false league position, aren't they, this afternoon, playing against this Leicester side, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. As we said, the midfield are very workmanlike. Let's not be disrespectful to them, but they are. They work hard. But the front four have all got ability to A, beat people, and B, cause problems. So I think, yeah, they slightly are. We haven't really tested the defence that much. That might be where they've fell down so far in the season, but certainly you would say on the balance of play their league position doesn't look quite right.
And it's hard for George Hurst, isn't it? He's not even had a sight. He's had nothing to work with, has he?
He's had nothing whatsoever. The one chance fell to Jack Clark. Not to say George would have taken it either, but he has had nothing whatsoever. He keeps battling, keeps working hard, but doesn't seem to get the ball, doesn't seem to want to be his friend at the moment.
And Jack Clark's having to do a lot of working back, hasn't he? I mean, both in the wide areas Town are having to in general because of what Fatawu and Mavididi offer.
Absolutely. Jack's done very well defensively, to be fair for him. For somebody who's not really adept at that side of the game, he's done ever so well, but we really need him. Get in positions, get him away from people, get him running at people, because that's where it'll bring hopefully some reward. But very, very big job on in the second half.
Yeah, there is. Well, I mentioned at the start of the game, there all seems to be something happens when these two sides meet. It was late equalisers in both games from Morsey and Sarmiento a couple of years ago. There was a controversy at Portman Road last year, the Jamie Vardy party at the end of things, at the end of last season. And this season, we've witnessed, sadly, because it went in Christian Walton's net, one of the best goals I've ever seen, and it's put Leicester City 2-0 ahead.
Yeah, it was some goal watching that back. Work to do for Ipswich Town in that second half. Clearly, we were back with Brenna Woolley and Barry Kent for the second half. Elsewhere in the second tier, the leaders Coventry are currently 0-0 with Bristol City. As things stand, Middlesbrough have cut the gap to the leaders to 3 points. It was 10 points a week ago, of course, but Borough going really well again. 2-0 up at home to QPR. First half goals from Strelec and Morgan Whittaker. Hull are 2-0 up away at Millwall. Both goals from Carl Joseph in the opening quarter of an hour. Earlier today, Preston were 2-1 winners at Oxford. They've moved up to third in the live table as things stand. Stoke had moved back into the top six, but they've just dropped out because of Hull's lead at Millwall. But Stoke earlier beat Swansea by 2-1. Ben Pearson and Sorba Thomas for Mark Robbins' side. Zan Vipotnik got one back for Swansea. Norwich were also winners this lunchtime, 2-1 at home to Southampton. They remain in the bottom three, 2 points from safety. A few more 3 o'clock kickoffs are at the half-time stage. Birmingham City leading Charlton by Christoph Clara, 0-0. Watford are 2-1 up away at Wrexham. Wrexham had led through Josh Windass, but goals from Dumbia and Mama for Watford have put the away side in front. Ohashi on target for Blackburn. They're 1-0 up away at Portsmouth. And just 2 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League today. As things stand, Chelsea moving up to fourth in the table. They lead Everton by 2-0. Cole Palmer and Marlo Gusto. And Hugo Ekitike in the first minute for Liverpool. They are 1 up at home to Brighton. The 5:30 kickoff in the Premier League is Burnley v Fulham. It's Arsenal v Wolves from 8 o'clock. We'll talk non-league football in just a moment. We'll catch up with Nick Garnham watching Grantham Athletic versus Mildenhall Town for us this afternoon. We'll also hear from an Ipswich Town academy player during our half-time half-time break, who's going to be on international duty next week.
Wayne Bavin at breakfast.
14-year-old Zach Watley has been selected to play for the under-15s England national football team. What is the dream?
Well, I want to break into the first team as early as I can. By the end of under-18s, I want to be playing for Ipswich.
Panto Dames from the Ipswich Regent Pantomime.
Morning.
And Peter, you've actually got the Dame lip.
What do you mean by the Dame lip?
You've got the perfect lips for lipstick.
Rosebuds?
Yeah.
Rosebud lips.
They look beautiful.
Very kissable as well.
Are you flirting with him?
No.
Wayne Bavin at breakfast. Weekdays from 6. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Suffolk.
At the PDC World Darts Championship earlier today, Bungee's Andrew Gilding made it through to the second round, beating Cam Crabtree by 3-1 at Alexandra Palace in London. Luke Humphreys, the 2024 champion, in action later today. On the non-league front this afternoon, in the Southern Premier League Central Division, Needham Market currently goalless away at Banbury United. Bury Town 2-0 up on their travels at Kettering this afternoon. Both goals scored by Jamie McGrath. AFC Sudbury also 2 goals to the good at home to Halesoe in town. Callum Page and Finn Corrigan on target. In the Isthmian North Division, the leaders Felixstowe Walton United at 0-0 with Wroxham at half-time. Wroxham third in the table. That's the standout fixture in that division today. Newmarket Town have come from behind to lead Lowestoft Town by 3-1 also in the Isthmian North, where there's another all-county clash that Nick Garnham is watching for us at Brantham Leisure Centre. Nick.
It's Brantham Athletic 1, Mildenhall Town 1, and it's level pegging after Mildenhall's Luke Brown's 43rd minute goal cancelled out Lucas Wells' opener just 3 minutes earlier. The first clear-cut chance came in the 15th minute when Mildenhall's Ben Nolan burst into the Brantham box, but he fired just over the crossbar. The visitors were looking the more likely side, and Jake Chambers-Shaw sprayed the ball out to Joe McNeil on the left, and he cut inside the defender before seeing his shot blocked and the ball go out for a corner. Only a super save from Jack Dudfield prevented Mildenhall from taking the lead in the 35th minute as Brown played Nolan in on the right and his powerful shot was beaten away by the keeper. Dudfield then parried away a shot from the influential Chambers-Shaw at his near post after 1-2 on the edge of the Brantham penalty area. The home team took the lead against the run of play in the 40th minute, Wells rising at the far post to send a fine header beyond Finley Iron from Ollie Travell's right-wing cross. However, their joy was short-lived as the Hall drew level 3 minutes later, Brown burying his shot into the bottom corner after McNeil's effort was cleared off the line. Ross Maguire and Dylan Logan then both went close for Brantham as the home team finished the half strongly. At half-time at the Brantham Leisure Centre, it's Brantham Athletic 1, Mildenhall Town 1.
Thank you, Nick. A reminder in our main feature, we've just joined us, Ipswich Town trailing Leicester City by 2-0 at half-time. We'll be back with Barry Kent and Brenna Woolley for the second half shortly. A dream will come true for a 14-year-old Ipswich Town academy player next week. 14-year-old Zach Watley has been selected for the under-15s England side, who will take on Iceland, Spain and Italy next week. He told Wayne Bavin how it all happened.
Well, they've been watching me for a while, so end of last season they were like at some of my games and they watched me 3 times in the pre-season, and then there was camps in September, late September, and then I'd done pretty well in the camps and I've been playing well since the camps till now, and basically I've just been picked to play for the team.
People think this just happens. It doesn't. You've been playing for Ipswich Town Academy since you were a small boy, haven't you?
Yeah. I've been playing for 6 years now, yeah.
Let's bring Dad in, because Dad, you must be incredibly proud.
Yeah, we're very proud. It's feels a little bit surreal, I think, at the moment. But I think it'll really hit us. What achievement he's made once we get there. As parents, you have to support your children, and there's so much you have to put in when they're following a dream. And the truth is, 95% of young people will not achieve that ultimate dream of being a professional footballer. Zach's well on the way now. His life could completely change in the next few years, couldn't it? Yeah, but as a family, we're really grounded. I've been through this process myself, so yeah, I know the ups and downs, and we're realistic with him, and we know he's in a really good moment at the moment, and it's about just enjoying it and just taking the most out of every opportunity.
So you were a footballer yourself?
Yeah, for a short time. Yeah, I was in the QPR Academy and then went to Lincoln City for a year as well. So yeah, I'm just trying to pass on anything my experiences, and yeah.
Is Dad a bit like your manager at the moment then? Is he your manager and mentor?
Yeah, he helps me a lot.
Yeah, do you do training together?
Yeah. He's got me to where I am now. Like, he's helped me a lot.
And that must be great, having the support of your dad there.
Yeah.
Is your dad any good?
Yeah, he's really good.
What position do you play? What are your strengths on a pitch?
I play centre-back, but I used to be centre-mid, so I think like it's easier playing centre-back when you've been in midfield, because it's easier on the ball and you can see the whole game, so it's not as much, because in midfield, like, it's 360, you've got to look everywhere, but at the back, you've just got to look forward. So I think I'm calm on the ball, and I'm good at defending, like, no one gets an easy time against me.
When you got that call to say you'd been picked for the team, how did you feel?
Well, I was just, like, really happy, like, I don't know, I just smiled and then went off, like, I didn't really know. Doesn't feel real until I'm actually there.
You're quite laid back. You're taking everything in your stride, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first international match is just next week, just a week before Christmas. Where are you playing at?
It's at St George's Park. That's where the camp was. So the teams will come over, and yeah, it'll be at St George's Park.
Wow. Are you going along, Dad?
Yeah, we've booked off some time from work, and yeah, we're going to be travelling to all the games.
You go to Northgate High School.
Yeah.
You're now going to be an England international under 15s.
Yeah.
How have your mates reacted?
They're just really happy for me. They've always supported me, and yeah, this is what they've wanted really. Like, they've always been saying since I've been to the camp, like, I hope you get picked and stuff. But yeah, they're really happy.
I would imagine, Zach, you're taking nothing for granted here,
No.
and you know, and I'm sure Dad's told you, you have to continue working so hard, don't you?
Yeah.
To make an impact in the game. Come on then, future aspirations, future dreams. So we have superstars of football now at 17, 18 years old. What is the dream?
Well, I want to obviously break into the first team as early as I can. So like, by the end of under 18s, I want to be playing for Ipswich.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah, that'd be.
That's the dream, yeah?
Yeah.
How do you rate Town this season?
Ups and downs. They need to be a bit more consistent, but they're not doing too bad. They done well against Coventry.
Yeah, they're still in the playoff places. So, St George's Park, you take on Iceland?
Iceland, Spain and Italy, yeah. Yeah.
Iceland, I'm sure you can push them aside, but Spain and Italy.
Yeah.
Listen, good luck. We'll be following your career very, very closely.
Thank you.
That moment when you first put on an England shirt, that's going to be special, isn't it?
Yeah, very special, yeah.
Do you get to keep it, do you know?
I don't think so, but there'll be lots of pictures of me in the kit, so...
Wishing Zach Watley all the very best. The 14-year-old Ipswich Town Academy player who'll be on international duty with England's under-15s from next week. Watch this space. Look, Leicester City blew a 2-goal lead on Wednesday night. We're hoping they do the same this afternoon. Second half from the King Power Stadium up next.
Fatawu switches play to Mavididi, former Juventus player on the left corner of the Ipswich area. Too heavy a touch from Thomas. Gets it in field to Cordova-Reid. Sets himself and scores a beautiful goal. What a hit that is from all of 30 yards. Nothing Walton could do after 8 minutes. A wonderful strike from Bobby Cordova-Reid gives Leicester City the lead. Free kick to Leicester, just a yard outside the Ipswich Town penalty area, right of centre. It's Fatawu over this one. He hits it in towards the near post. Well saved by Walton. It was on target. Nunez picks up the loose ball on halfway, driving forward for Ipswich Town, looking for an equaliser in this first half. He gets inside the area, down the left channel. Nunez still has the ball into the centre to Clark. Well saved by Stalacic. A real chance for Ipswich Town. It was laid on a plate for Clark. He hit it first time left-footed from around about 12 yards out, and the keeper got down quickly and stopped it. O'Shea plays it forward poorly, straight at Ricardo, gets away from a couple of Ipswich Town players and tries to head over Walton from pretty much halfway. Has he scored a brilliant goal? Oh my goodness me! One of the greatest goals I have ever seen! From the halfway line, Fatawu puts it over the top of Walton and into the back of the net. That is stunning! Silence in the King Power Stadium before the celebrations erupted. A moment of true genius has put Leicester City 2-0 up.
Hello?
Centre?
It's Lord Sugar here.
On BBC iPlayer.
Thanks for the slippers.
Shall I make us a little Christmas fettuccine?
Oh, we'll have the perfect family Christmas.
Amanda Land.
That's what I call a tree. Is it plastic?
Celebrity Apprentice.
I don't suppose you need a few extra elves, do you?
The holiday.
It is Christmas Eve, and we are going to celebrate being young and being alive.
And so much more. Festive fun for all the family.
Well, I hope they don't come up with a load of old baubles.
On BBC iPlayer.
Full-time scores in the Championship today, then Norwich 2, Southampton 1, Preston up to third in the live table, 2-1 winners at Oxford, Stoke 2, Swansea 1 in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, leaders Coventry and 0-0 with Bristol City, Middlesbrough cutting the gap to 3 points as things stand. They lead QPR 2-0, Birmingham 1, Charlton 0, Millwall 0, Hull 2, Blackburn 1 up at Portsmouth, Watford 2-1 up at Wrexham. In our main feature, Ipswich Town trailing 2-0 at Leicester. Let's go back to the King Power Stadium. Leicester have been here before this week, Brenner.
Yeah, they have. Against Bristol City, they let a 2-0 lead slip to go 2-2, so let's see what develops over the course of the next 45 minutes. Play underway about 10 seconds ago at the start of this second half. Town in all red, playing up against the all blue of Leicester. Town playing from right to left. It's the same 22 players that started this game. Walton in goal, and it's Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Davis, Matusiwa alongside Taylor, who's on a yellow, Clark, Nunez, Philogene, Hurst up front. On the bench, Palmer, Kayuste, Athon, Greaves, Johnson, Young, McAteer, Smodix and Akpom. Give it the Leicester side when we have a break and play. Jordan James going down the right wing for them at the moment, up against Philogene and Davis. Gives it back to Fatawu, who scored that stunning goal in the first half. Dangerous ball into the box, flag's gone up. Walton made the save anyway, but it's a lovely ball in from Fatawu.
Beautiful ball, but they were 2 offside there. I think it was off. The flag was up when the ball was in the air. That was so obvious.
Stelarchik's in goal for Leicester. They've got a back four of Ricardo, Nelson, Vestergaard and Thomas. Their sitters are James and Skip. Then it's Fatawu, a goal scorer, D. Cordova, Reid, a goal scorer, and Mavadidi in behind AU. The front four have been very good for Leicester. On the bench, Begovic, Fars, Carranza, Evans. Town give the ball away. I'll break away 1 second. Fatawu with a heavy touch. Evans, Page, Thomas, Dakar, Aluko and Chowdhury. Ipswich on the left wing in front of us. Philogene, if Town can get the third goal of this game, it's very much game on. Philogene inside the area, left-footed cross, comes off a Ricardo. Town win the first corner kick of the second half inside the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then you saw again Philogene was going in. They know he wants to go in on his right, and they had 3 people covering him. It was just a shame that he couldn't get the cross in with his left foot, because Ipswich had 1 or 2 spares actually towards the 6-yard box.
Davis with this corner kick for Ipswich Town off to our left-hand side as people come back from their half-time break, and it comes headed away before Hurst could get a forehead on it. And as far as Furlong jabs it square to Nunez. Nunez puts it high into the Leicester area. Davis nods it to the edge of the box, and Taylor turns it around the corner to Matusiwa. Skip goes after him, then he's after Furlong on the centre spot. Furlong jabs the ball forward, the back header from O'Shea, straight at Thomas, the left back, who clears his lines. Nunez with a touch, finding O'Shea. Matusiwa across the park to Davis, pills for handball, not given by the referee. Low ball in by Davis, cut out easily by Nelson. James plays it forward. AU's after this one, so to O'Shea, who's going to get there first and chip it back to Walton.
It's a shame that. It was a good position, and Leaf's delivery is normally a lot better than that, but it didn't get beyond the front post.
Here's Jack Taylor at the moment, momentarily left back, as Philogene and Davis are well in front of him. Actually, Davis is the furthest advanced down this left-hand side. Taylor over the top for the run of Hurst. Flag stays down. Nelson with a header back towards his goalkeeper. Stelarchik gets there ahead of George Hurst, but Town have started the second half fairly brightly, it has to be said.
Yeah, that was a nice little chip ball there, but the defender did exceptionally well. He was back-pedalling, but he managed to get just enough on it to guide it back to his goalkeeper.
Obviously, next goal is massively important. 3-0 Leicester, and Town aren't taking anything from this game, but if Ipswich Town can get it back to 2-1, particularly in the near future, bearing in mind what happened to Leicester in the week, they'll get a bit jittery, their fans will be a bit concerned. And then it will be very, very interesting remainder of this game on BBC Radio Suffolk. Davis with the throw up to Hurst, can't control it. Nelson clears, but poorly, way too casual. Taylor says thank you very much. Ipswich have it with Furlong on the far side. Jack Clark, infield looking for Nunez, poor pass from Clark. Thomas has it at left back, infield to Skip. Skip finds James goes back to Stelarchik. Ricardo is the obvious ball out to right back. Leicester have worked that very well. Ricardo down the line to Fatawu, very poor, terrible ball from Fatawu. Leicester get it back though. James measures a pass into the centre, and D. Cordova Reid overlapping is Thomas on the far touchline. Mavididi holding off Furlong and going back to Skip. Vestergaard playing keep ball with Skip. Nunez chasing around up towards Ayew. Ayew to Skip along the floor to Mavididi, who touches it back rather than forward. Leicester just getting a little bit of possession. It's interesting, before the game on their in-house TV service, two former Town players, Martin Waghorn and Matt Elliott, of course both very well known for what they did for Leicester City while they're part of their coverage. And at half-time, the new UK snooker champion with his trophy, Mark Selby, Leicester boy through and through, was on the pitch ahead of the game showing off his wares, and then has been giving his thoughts on the football at half-time. Massive fan of Leicester City. Middlesbrough 3-0 up in their game this afternoon, beating QPR, who'd been on a good run of form as well under Julian Stefan, but Kim Hellberg's made a good start to life on Teesside. Fatawu down the right wing, trying to thread it in field for Ayew. Leif Davis got on it for Town, then took a tumble over the ball, wins a free kick under the nose of the referee's assistant.
And it's clever there, Leif, because he just waited for the guy to make the slightest challenge and went down, and it was good because he was in the no man's land.
Walton has to sort his feet out. He's given the ball back to Kipper, who lifts it dangerously into the area. Headed away by O'Shea, comes off the top of Furlong, picked up by Mavididi. Very poor that from Ipswich Town. Although the danger's gone, Mavididi's had to run all the way back into his own half and in the end give it back to his goalkeeper Stalacic. George Hurst runs after the ball, but having a thankless afternoon, George. Ricardo down the right wing for Leicester. Gives it to Fatawu, the score of that wonder goal late in the first half. It's given Leicester a 2-0 lead, trying to take on Davis. Davis defends it well, then goes down. Ricardo into the centre to tap in for 3, and the flag has stayed down. It's Jordan Ayew who knocks it into the net, and you have to fear that even just 6.5 minutes into the second half, that this one is all over. Leicester City lead Ipswich Town by 3-0, and Ipswich Town's long wait for a second win at the King Power Stadium is going to go on.
We're appealing for a foul on Davis, so I think it was a weak challenge, and once the ball had broken, it was an easy cross into the 6-yard box, and I think, Neil, you could have put that in, Brunner.
It was a simple tap in for Ayew. Well, that's what the Championship's all about, isn't it? The results like this. I mean, off the back of Town's performance at Ewood Park, Blackburn fans must have been scratching their heads that that lot can go on and beat Coventry 3-0 and then beat Stoke 1-0. Well, they did, and they deserved those 2 wins, Ipswich Town, but all of a sudden they're on the wrong end of a 3-0 scoreline here at the King Power Stadium.
I think it's a long time in the Championship that Ipswich have conceded 3 goals.
Ball's out near side for a throw-in. Yeah, it's a bad one this afternoon for Ipswich Town. Here comes Ricardo with this throw. I suppose Charlton wasn't it? This season was the blip for them earlier on.
That's right. Yeah,
but it's a real rarity for them under Kieran McKenna, who's looking on stony-faced and can't really have seen this one coming. Another 3,000 stony faces over in the far left corner. Taylor back to O'Shea. Such a poor goal as well.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the others were top-class finishes in the first half. But yeah, Leif Davis was very lightweight, looking for the foul there. It didn't come. O'Shea gives the ball to Kipre inside his half on the left-hand side. Davis forward to Philogene. Back towards Cedric Kipre inside his half. Town just trying to calm down and reset. Afterwards, you'll say very welcome on BBC Radio Suffolk 0800 141 2121 as Town just give the ball away again. Or you can text 81333, start those messages SFK. Or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Also start those SFK. And if you want to be involved in the Blue Hour on Monday night on BBC Radio Suffolk, maybe between 6 and 7, you can email me at any point, brenner@bbc.co.uk. We'll have reaction to this game. Look ahead to Sheffield Wednesday next week, and hopefully reaction to Ipswich Town women maybe having a successful day in the third round of their FA Cup down at Portchester tomorrow. So far, it's been a fairly miserable trip to the East Midlands for Ipswich Town men. Clark puts the ball into the Leicester area, headed away by Vestergaard, brought down by Skips. Skips played a pass out on this near side to no one. Davis has gone after the ball, throws it to Kipre. Well, Leicester aren't letting a 2-goal lead slip twice in as many days. Ricardo down the line, but away from AU. He's done well up front, AU. He's now 34, such an experienced player. Had a bit of time with Swansea and Villa in the past. His brother Andre is also a player. TV cameras zooming in on Matt Holland in the crowd. As Philogene goes back to O'Shea. He'll have played in that side, Matt, that last one here 23 years ago. Taylor in midfield to Philogene, just beyond him. Davis picks it up wide left outside the Leicester area. In comes his dink cross. Stolarczyk catches it over the top of Nunez. As a few of the Leicester subs go out for a warm-up. As now Vestergaard, left-footed, drills the ball up towards Mavididi. Clark gives it to Matthew Siwa. Athon being sent out for a jog from this Town subs bench. Davis down the left, low ball in, cleared away by Nelson, back to Davis, miscontrols it, eventually gets it under his spell. Davis rolls it back to Philogene. Philogene to Taylor. Taylor turns in field, looks towards the goal, goes square to Matthew Siwa. Back comes AU. Leicester get on the ball, breaking well with D. Cordova-Reid. Forward come the Blues, out to the right hand side. James over the top. Mavididi wants it down the right hand side. D. Cordova-Reid. They've worked the ball well into the Town half, and the Town have now got bodies back. That's fair enough when you're 3-0 up.
Yes, absolutely. You don't need to overextend at all, and they've kept the ball well again, like they did in the first half.
Here is Fatawu into Skip. On halfway is Ricardo. Skip to D. Cordova-Reid. Nice one-touch stuff. Lovely play from Leicester. James round the back to AU. Edge of the area. Held up by O'Shea. Back to Ricardo. Skip to AU. One-touch stuff from Leicester. Then in field to Vestergaard. They're playing very well. Vestergaard gives it to Thomas. Mavididi goes back to Skip. Good possession football from Leicester. Forward from Vestergaard, blocked off by Philogene. Wonder if he'd spotted the goalkeeper off his line. He certainly hasn't had a shot. He's run with it, Philogene, who still has it. Gives it to Nunez. Clark wants it, edge of the area, down the right-hand side. Back to Marcelino Nunez outside the Leicester box. Leif Davis is making ground into the area, and it comes towards Hurst. Headed away by Vestergaard, chested down by Taylor. Taylor to Davis, well controlled by Davis. Now Philogene outside the box, wants it on his right foot, then actually in the end looks towards Nunez, but D. Cordova-Reid's in the way.
An interesting position there for a second, but just couldn't get a real angle on to get a shot away. But we appear to be playing a bit better now, but I think the horse may have bolted.
Davis back towards Kipre. Kipre crosses into the Leicester area over the top of Hurst, headed away by Vestergaard. Nodded on by Mavididi. The overhead is from AU. O'Shea gets there first and nods it. Fatawu challenges Davis. In goes Matthew Siwa. Down goes Matthew Siwa, holding his left ankle. Kieran McKenna making some notes. We'll hear from him before 6 o'clock, and hopefully an Ipswich Town player as well. Is going to be all right, Matthew Siwa. A number of subs from both clubs actually down in front of us. Town have got Akpom and Athon out there with their tracksuit bottoms off, suggesting, given the conditions, they might be about to come on. Martin Pert and Kieran McKenna having a natter down below us as Ricardo throws the ball to AU, the man who made it 3-0 in the second half. James with a cross-field ball. He's had a good game, James. Brought down by Mavididi. To Thomas. Leicester making Ipswich Town run at the moment. Vestergaard. Nelson back to his goalkeeper Stolarczyk. Kieran McKenna's calling subs back to the bench. Just a minute shy of the hour mark. Leicester with Thomas coming in field. Clark goes to ground. Thomas has gone over the top of that challenge. Kiyuste is getting a word from his manager. So two Smodics, might be those two first of all. Certainly looks like it. Fatawu down the right-hand side. Fatawu getting into the Ipswich penalty area by the byline. Little touch infield to Ayew. Ayew turns it round, shot towards goal, blocked off by O'Shea. Could have been 4. Wasn't really much power in the effort. And now there's a foul on Thomas, the left back. Leicester have a free kick less than 30 yards from the town goal line.
Yeah, it was a good knockback again. Ayew came in and nicked the ball, turned it round, but unfortunately the guy who shot was closed down, and luckily he didn't get a great purchase on it.
I think Ashley Young might be a third substitute coming on now as well. Certainly looks to be getting himself ready with Smodics and Kiyuste. Yeah, the number 15's visible. Kind of put a 4-man wall in the way of this. It's crazy to think that if Leicester do find the top corner from this kind of range, it possibly still wouldn't be the third best goal of the afternoon.
Yes.
Wouldn't put it past them though to do that. They lead 3-0 at the King Power Stadium. Two players bent over at the moment, just having a chat about things. It's the two wide men, certainly for Fatawu. It does look like Mavididi who's next to him. He can prepare this triple change. Free kick to Leicester, trying to rub salt into Ipswich Town's wound. It'll be one of the flying wide players that hits this towards goal. And bearing in mind what we've seen this afternoon, you wouldn't bet against them finding the back of the net. It's going to be Mavididi who gets it up, and it's come off an Ipswich Town player for a corner kick. He hit it low, trying to catch Walton out down to his left-hand side.
Yeah. For a second, because Walton really scrambled, didn't he? But I think the pace off the shot was taken off the shot by the defender, and just drifted out for a corner.
Yeah, Young, Kiyuste and Smodics coming on for Ipswich Town with 62 minutes played. Corner kick to Leicester. James is on it, off to our right-hand side. He pulls it back to Ricardo. Back it goes to James on the right-hand side. The ball bounces up his chest, and he whips in a dangerous cross. Bumbled around inside there. Town haven't cleared their lines just yet. There's appeals for handball. Vestergaard looking at the referee, but it's a corner kick to Leicester.
Very dangerous cross there. I think Leicester forward got a half header on it, and then it sort of got stuck under one or two players' feet. But thankfully for us, Kiprane managed to force it away.
Corner kick to Leicester City. Over in the far right corner of a rather lively King Power Stadium. They lead 3-0, and it comes double-fisted away by Walton. Controlled again beautifully by Mavididi. Chowdhury about to come on for Leicester, incident. He's a midfielder or full-back. James knocks a high ball into the Ipswich area. Should be Walton's after a shout. And it is. So I'm imagining Nunez, Taylor, probably one of the fullbacks about to come off perhaps. There is Philogene. Lovely work from Philogene, getting the better of De Cordova-Reid. 3 of them on him again, Philogene. It's been noticeable in this game. One of them, De Cordova-Reid, makes the challenge, and it's out of play for a throw-in, and also for these 3 changes at least. No, Matu Siwa is going off to be replaced by Young. Nunez is coming off to be replaced by Smodics, as we suspected. And the other player going off is Taylor, to be replaced by Kiyuste. So a Young and Kiyuste midfield, Barry. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that, unless Leaf is going to play further forward, and Ashley's going to tuck in behind him, because I thought originally he was going to put Ashley to right back, but
doesn't look like it.
No, he's taken up a position kind of in the middle of the field. Caduce now, hopefully, with a long throw into the box.
Can you stay with this throw in for Ipswich Town outside the Leicester penalty area? Still probably a good half an hour to go, and it's hurled, headed down by Kipre, belted away by De Cordova-Reid, brought down by Furlong for Ipswich Town, trying to keep up a little bit of pressure on the Leicester backline. Clark with a left-footed, way too much on that. Poor from Clark, out behind. Goal kick to Leicester. Let's go back to Graham at 3-0.
Mentioned earlier, Middlesbrough 3-0 up home to QPR. Coventry, the leaders, now ahead at home to Bristol City 1-0.
Substitution for Leicester City.
After a couple of games without a win for Frank Lampard's side, Decodover-Reid is going off to be replaced by the more defensively minded Hamza Chowdhury. Come through the ranks, he had a few loan spells. Chowdhury, quite a forceful, combative character in there, so just shore things up in the middle alongside James and Skip, I would have thought. Extra presence in the centre to say firm things up a little bit as we're being treated to a replay of the Leicester goals on the screen in front of us. 65 minutes on the clock, 3-0 Leicester. AU's added to the first half goals from Decodover-Reid and Fatawu. Fatawu's from well inside his own half. Can bear to watch that later on TV. It's certainly worth a look. It is astonishing. Yeah. Kipre to O'Shea, Town's second best this afternoon. Here is Ashley Young in midfield trying to slide a ball forward for Smodics. In goes Furlong. Of course, Town have got no midweek game this week, so players will be refreshed and ready to go again after the back of this very intense period of late when they face Sheffield Wednesday at home in a week's time. Mick Mills will be alongside me for that game. 3 o'clock kickoff at Portman Road. Chowdhury gives the ball back to Thomas. Now it's with Vestergaard into midfield. Skip lifts it out well to the right hand side. Ricardo. Now there's some space for Leicester to motor into. Ricardo still has the ball to his right hand side for Tawu. One-on-one with Leif Davis, comes in field, skips away from Philogene. Fatawu still has the ball. Back he goes to Skip in the middle of his half. Chowdhury to Nelson. Now Vestergaard. Leicester, as the half progresses, will be more than happy to just keep a hold of the ball. Still got a quarter of the game to go, just 21 minutes in the second half played. Mavididi pings a pass to James, back to Mavididi, edge of the area, he hits and drags it wide. Nice link-up play between those two. Certainly fancies a goal, Mavididi. In fact, he's the only one of that starting quartet up front that we highlighted early on as being good players, Barry, that has yet to score, Mavididi.
Yes, you're right, I hadn't thought of that.
It's a good return from Cifuentes' selection. Davis, little ball down the line to Philogene. Athon and Akpom with... Well, actually, Athon's still out there warming up. Haven't seen anything of Akpom for a little while. Probably the final changes, I would have thought. Miscontrolled from Clark.
That sort of sums the afternoon up, doesn't it, really? I mean, that was a beautifully floated ball. It wasn't hard to take, and just a little lack of concentration, and it dribbles off his foot out of play.
Thomas with a short throw and cushioned back to him by James. I think it's done a very good job for Leicester. AU trying to embarrass O'Shea. Pills for handball, far side, not given. Skip lobs it up towards AU, headed away by O'Shea. Nodded in field by Young to fellow substitute Kiyusta. It's a new look midfield for Ipswich Town.
Yep.
Davis hits the ball down the line. Philogene's not going to get there ahead of Nelson. Nelson turns it out for a throw to Leif Davis. So it'll only be Town's 5th defeat of the season. Against Oxford and Charlton, and earlier on Middlesbrough and Preston. Davis finding Kipre on the halfway line. Up it to the centre spot, and O'Shea along the floor to Furlong. Furlong skims a ball forward with too much pace for Smodics. Good to see Smodics back and available, isn't it, Barry? After a long time out.
Yeah, and he could be a difference maker because he is a guy who just naturally gets in goal scoring positions. It was a good run there. Just a shame that Furlong overhit the ball, but it was the right pass.
Leicester belting up to the halfway line, headed on by AU. Challenging for it, Mavididi against Kipre. Kipre is going to battle for it once again in the air, but Mavididi gets his body in the way. Ball's hoisted up towards the halfway line, bouncing inside the left half. Nelson challenges Hurst successfully, touched on by Skip, but only to Leif Davis. 69 minutes played. Flags up. There's a free kick in the centre of the field.
The referee wasn't going to give that.
No, he wasn't, was he?
No.
Free kick to Ipswich. Taken quickly by Kiyuste. Gives it to Ashley Young. He'll then find Jack Clark via Darnell Furlong. Clark running with the ball towards the Leicester area, inside the Leicester area. Good run this from Clark, eventually taken away from him by Skip. Skip then gets away from Clark, and it's out of play for a throw to Ipswich Town. Clark did well to...
You can see Skip's pedigree coming from Tottenham, can't you? He's hardly put a foot wrong all afternoon.
They're a decent pair, those two, James.
Yeah,
Skip, what they're doing
definitely.
There. Young to the edge of the Leicester area. Too much on that pass from Young, way too much. That was enjoyed by the home fans.
That was the right idea, just try to play it in that inside right channel, just to, again, the second overhit pass we've had in about the last 2 minutes.
Goal kick to Leicester City, 20 minutes to go in his area. Stolarczyk, given away straight to Kiyuste, who pings it into the net. What a mistake from Stolarczyk.
Bloody hell.
Awful goalkeeping, straight at the Ipswich Town midfielder, who couldn't believe his luck. One touch into the back of the net, and all of a sudden it's Leicester City 3, Ipswich Town 1.
Well, I have no idea what the goalkeeper was doing there. Talk about put your team in it. I mean, he just oh my goodness.
He's given it straight to Kiyuste.
It was better than a penalty because the ball was moving and Kiyuste was running onto it. Well, if you ever needed a bit of luck, that was it.
Well, we've just about seen everything in this game in terms of quality of goals.
That's amazing.
To allow Ipswich Town into this game from nowhere. 20 minutes to go. Cameras focusing on Jakub Stolarczyk when nothing looked likely to happen. Very bizarre. Played out short towards the penalty spot, thinking it was his own player. Well, Kiyuste in all red should have been visible to him. Nipped in and just one touch bang into the back of the net for his second Ipswich Town goal. Kipre forward for Ipswich Town. Well, can they do something very special here and get something from this game? Furlong to the right-hand side. Clark, chance to cross into the Leicester area. Back it goes to Furlong. In comes his cross towards Kiyuste, who's up there, headed down by Chowdhury. Town exerting some pressure. Davis to Kiyuste, who's onside. Flag is stayed down into the middle. Chance for Smodics, comes all the way to Clark. Surely Clark, no! Cleared away. How long did he want? That could so easily have been 3-2.
It came to him beautifully on his right foot as well. It was the foot he wanted it on. He shifted it inside. I thought, well, you're going to hit it again. And he tried to shift it in again, and the ball was smothered away from him.
Oh, he should have done better.
Yes, we're just watching it again.
He's got to do better. Wow, and then 3-2 in the space of a couple of minutes. Subs have been sent out from the Leicester bench now. Who knows what's going to happen here? As I said before the match and at half-time, there's always something memorable happens between these two sides. Maybe the goal from inside his own half from Fatawu will only be a tiny part of this story here this afternoon, with a bit of luck. Here comes Furlong, long run-up. In comes his throw, headed away by Ayew. Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Those 3,000 away fans over in the far left corner are starting to believe.
Yep, absolutely. And Young going to take it because he's got excellent delivery. Young, that'll be the curse of death now, if you say that. But he has excellent. I mean, he's such a fine footballer overall, and the way he passes the ball, absolutely superb.
Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Ashley Young to take it. Can they make it 3-2? Fascinating game, and it comes from him, headed away by Vestergaard as far as Leif Davis, who clips it back in. There's a lovely ball, headed out by Ricardo, out as far as Philogene, who gets underneath it, and it loops harmlessly over the bar.
If he'd have got hold of that, that would have been better than the first two goals we've seen. It was an impossible one. Impossible. But anyway, it's given the 3,000 travelling fans a little bit of joy, that's for sure, because the first 65 minutes was pretty barren.
Yeah, thanks to Stolarczyk with his assist for Kiyuste. Kipre, mistaken header, little back heel to get himself out of troubles, chested down by Ayew. On the right wing is Fatawu. Fatawu threads it through, trying to get it through to James, just a bit too much on that. Furlong tidies up, back to Christian Walton. Furlong back to Walton inside his area, closed down by James. He gives it to Kipre and to Leif Davis as Leicester are pressing off to our right hand side. Philogene slides, goes down, free kick to Ipswich inside their half.
I think he was a bit lucky there, Bren. He bought that, I think.
16 minutes of normal time to go. O'Shea to halfway, gives it to Smodics. I thought he was going to get a chance to score a few moments ago, and that one eventually got to Clark, who had to do better. There is Clark on the far side of the field. Want to take on Mabadini. Brilliant from Clark. He shimmied away from him. Clark inside the Leicester area, pulls it back to Young. Young thought about the shot, little drag back, but he's robbed by James. Kipre then gives it to Kiyuste, out as far as O'Shea. Back it goes to Ashley Young. On the right hand side is Clark. Chance to get it into the middle. He's run with it instead, edge of the area. Clark then gives it back to O'Shea. All hands on deck for Leicester. Ipswich Town pressing. Can they break through? Smodics wide right, low ball into the centre, guided away, comes out as far as Kipre. Chowdhury dives into the challenge, then belted away by the left foot of Fatawu, all the way to Christian Walton off to our right hand side.
That was a great block there, because I wouldn't have fancied tackling Kipre coming in on the run like that. That was a brilliant block.
He was really going for it, wasn't he?
He was.
Both sets of fans getting behind their team. They both need it at the moment. Ipswich have a chance of doing something very special by coming back from 3-0 down here. It's 3-1 at the moment, still a lot of work to be done, but they're having a go at the moment. Kipre, closed down by Chowdhury. On the left-hand side, Davis, outside the Leicester area. Ball in field to Philogene. Not a good layoff from Philogene, looking for Kiyuste, who'd got forward into a good area. O'Shea gives it to Smodics. Smodics sets himself up, then plays it to Clark, wide right, inside the Leicester area. Clark pulls it back behind Hurst. Nodded away by Skip, nodded down. Smodics takes it on his chest, shoots overhead, attempt from Hurst. Doesn't come to Philogene, hooked away by Ricardo. We've got a game on our hands now, Barry.
Yeah, there's been more goal-mouth action from Ipswich in the last 5 minutes than there was in the previous 70.
McAteer and Akpom, the changes for Ipswich Town. Kieran McKenna wants a word with Ashley Young as well. So no Ivan Athon this afternoon. There's also a word with Sam Smodics. Philogene is going off to be replaced by Akpom. Let's see what happens here. And the other change is Darnell Furlong going off to be replaced by Casey McAteer. I did think that Jack Clark was worth keeping out there. When I saw McAteer getting ready to come on, I'm happy with Clark. Clark's gone off to the left-hand side. Let's see what's happened with the rest of the team now as well.
Well, you've got to be completely offensive now, Bren, because you're 3-1 down with 13 minutes to go. So, I mean, there's absolutely nothing to lose now.
Leif Davis over this free kick for Ipswich Town, 35 yards from goal, left-footed, looks good, delivery again towards Hurst. He's underneath it, flag's gone up. Wouldn't have counted.
No. And again, just a little bit too high for him. Didn't quite time his run, either in terms of the offside or in terms of getting above the ball.
There's Dar O'Shea with the header in the end. Still Archik. Wow, it's given Ipswich Town this lifeline, the Polish goalkeeper. Get some movement from the Leicester City bench. And Ashley Young's gone back towards the right back area.
Yeah.
Certainly where he's playing.
It looks like Akpong's going to play beside Hurst, doesn't it?
Yeah, he does, with sort of
Smodics and Juiced.
Changes for Leicester. Ayew is going off, the man who made it 3-0. He's been replaced by Patson Dakar. And the other player is Silko Thomas, who's a young striker who's come through the academy, just 21. Started at Chelsea, Silko Thomas. He's going to be coming on for Mabadidi. Didn't manage to get his goal. Yeah, McAteer back at Leicester City. 56 appearances and 8 goals for them in his time at this club. Made his debut actually 4 years ago yesterday in a Premier League game against Newcastle United for Leicester City. This is his first return to his boyhood club. And as the ball goes out of play for a Town throw-in underneath us. Kipre to O'Shea. O'Shea carries it towards halfway, then gives it to Kipre. Fair chance we might hear from Dara O'Shea after this one. Perhaps. Here he is on the ball on BBC Radio Suffolk. Gives it to Chuba Akpom, drifting across the right-hand side next to McAteer. Akpom gets the ball back by the corner flag next to the Town fans. Plays it off of Thomas. That is Silkwood Thomas for a corner kick to Ipswich.
Oh no, Leicester have got a 3-1 lead, so that definitely changes your mindset. But you'd have to ask why Ipswich haven't played like this in the preceding 70 minutes.
Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Ashley Young to take it. Town 3-1 behind with 10 minutes to go. O'Shea goes towards the ball. Then Hurst tries to hook it goalwards off target from the number 9. Who's going to get the full 90 minutes? George Hurst.
Yeah. But to be fair, and nothing against George, he's been pretty anonymous all game. Just hasn't had any chances. He hasn't affected the game in any way. Very, extremely difficult position to play, but just not in the game, unfortunately.
Headed by O'Shea on the halfway line. Knocked forward by Ricardo. Dakar's going to chase Kipre for the ball. Kipre heads it back to a well-positioned Walton, offering himself up. Walton underarm to Kipre afterwards. Have your say. Have a chat to Graham and Barry on 0800 141 2121. Davis finds Akpom on the right-hand side. McAteer overlapping is Young. McAteer still has the ball. Eventually gives it to Ashley Young. Young gets away from Luke Thomas. Good cross from Young towards the far post, headed down by Clark. Throws Smodix, who sets himself, knocks it in towards the far stick.
Too long.
Just too much on that from McAteer.
Shame, it was the right ball.
Goal kick to Leicester City. Terrific if Town could score anytime soon to set up a grandstand finish to this game. Stolarczyk no longer taking any chances. Clears the ball downfield, headed by O'Shea to Davis, who tidies up all the way back to Walton. Both sides have scored in the second half. It's 3-1 Leicester. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk. The cold King Power Stadium. Ashley Young, ball down the right-hand side, trying to get McAteer in behind. Akpom wins it back for Ipswich, goes through the challenge on Thomas. The referee plays an advantage for Tawu to James, who's full of beans, making a run in behind. A Silka Thomas, well intercepted. Good positioning from Ashley Young. Young finds McAteer. Here is Kiyuste, having scored his first ever championship goal. Kipre on the ball for Ipswich. Wide left is Clark. What can he create? Approaching the final 7.5 minutes. Can Town get the most unlikely of draws? Back it goes to Clark. Clark square towards Young. McAteer, infield, good first touch from McAteer. Ball into the box of Smodix, excellent play. Smodix taken away from goal by Vestergaard. Now wide on the right-hand side, he has to play it back to Young. That was nice football from McAteer initially. Young again. To Smodix wide on that far side, trying to get away from Silka Thomas. Town working it from right to left. Here is Cedric Kipre, ambling forward towards the edge of the area. Prods it through a little gap to Clark. Clark in field. Oh, tries to find the far corner. Excellent block from Skip. Whoa, that looked like a real chance opening up there for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, lovely little. He waited, Kipre, and just laid it in. And Jack again got this thing for going in on his right foot. Skipped the first defender, but just couldn't get enough on it to have a shot. And it was an excellent block by Skip, who to me has been Leicester's man of the match. Has been everywhere.
Corner kick from Davis, dealt with by Leicester, headed forward by Smodix, bravely into the mix, cleared beyond Smodix. Leicester can maybe break here. They're 3-on-3. How adventurous they're going to be for Tawu. Plays it forward to James, who I think's been excellent. He's been all over the place. Here he is again, up against Ashley Young, back at right back. Now Silko Thomas, the ponytail. He goes back to Skip, who has had a good game. That too in midfield have made a real difference for Leicester.
Yes, absolutely.
Here we have Vestergaard rolling it forward to Skip through a little gap. He's looking up, gives it towards Ricardo, trying to play Dakar in behind for Thor. Nudged off the ball by O'Shea. Nothing doing, says the referee. Play continues. No Leicester players, only a smattering of supporters asking for a penalty. Houston gives it straight to Skip. Skip then finds Fatawu. There is Chowdhury. He's playing as an extra defender. Almost Chowdhury, approaching the final 5 minutes of this game. Ball back with Stelarczyk as Hurst piles into Nelson. Free kick at the back for the home side.
It was a bit unfortunate there, George, because he just went to make a run for the pass back, and the fellow walked across his path and then went down like he'd been shot.
Free kick to Leicester. Looking more and more likely to go on now and get all 3 points. Hopefully tempting fate as I see that flag up against Leicester. Free kick to Ipswich Town. Kipre to Leif Davis. Back it goes to Kipre inside the Ipswich Town half of the field now with Dara O'Shea. Kipre. Leif Davis looking forward. Swoddox makes a run in. Field it goes towards Hurst. Hurst touch gives it to Silko Thomas. Up to halfway. Good block off by Young, but Thomas gets back on it for Leicester. Gives it to his namesake Luke Thomas. Now with Oliver Skip. Silko Thomas has made a run out to the far side. Young is there to change the direction of his body and head the ball back to Christian Walton.
Just shows you Young's class there. He made that initial challenge in the middle, in the centre circle. He's so aware of where the ball could go, and he was already back in the correct position to cut that ball out.
Through to Ipswich, midway inside the Leicester half. Davis finds Kipre. 3-1 Leicester, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. McAteer infield to Akpom. Akpom with the ball it's away from Clark and away from Davis. It's not going to happen there, and it's...
No, that was a shame. That was the right ball again, just slightly overhit. McAteer's looked lively since he's come on. He obviously likes the Leicester air, but he certainly he's looked a lot, like the player, I guess, who was bought earlier in the summer.
Town almost, for what it's worth, it's sort of a 4-1-3-2 seems to be the system. Kayuste, the one-man midfield, and then they've got McAteer, Smoddox and Clark across the park, and then Akpom and Hurst up front, but it's very interchangeable, very mobile. It just needs must, and Town, like Barry was saying, might as well go and have it a crack in this final 3 minutes plus added on time. Then Kieran McKenna's thoughts will be on the way, and those of a Town player, quite possibly this man O'Shea, who's on the ball. He gives it to Akpom. Ashley Young. I guess it's another one we might hear from afterwards. Akpom again. Goes back to Young. Now Kipre. Plays it forward. Lovely flick pass from Kipre to Clark. Clark loops it towards the far post. Has to be a chance. Headed over the bar from McAteer, rushing in beyond the far stick, and I think he's taken a smack to his nose. Lovely ball forward from Kipre.
Yeah, clever ball that was, and just a shame he couldn't quite get above it again, and looks like he got more of the defender's head than he got of the ball, and they're both down in a heap at the moment.
Yeah, a few medical staff on, one to deal with the Leicester man, and two of them to deal with, it was Casey McAteer, just having a little look around. Bravely went up there. So we'll have a little break and play here with 88.5 minutes played. Lots and lots of Leicester fans have seen enough and have disappeared off. Quietly confident their side's going to hang on for a much needed win for them, and a relatively rare defeat for Ipswich Town. Just watching a replay of that lovely little chip ball forward from Kipre to Clark. Yeah, it's Thomas Luke Thomas, who's gone down holding the back of his head. So just a reminder what Town have got on the horizon. They've got Sheffield Wednesday at home next Saturday. Fingers crossed that should be, although they're not getting walloped every week Wednesday, all the problems they've had, it's a really good opportunity for Ipswich Town to bounce back and head into Christmas off the back of a win. Fingers crossed, touching wood as I say that. Then on Boxing Day, so that's a week on Friday, we're at Millwall for a 1 o'clock kick-off, and then on the Monday after that, the 29th, Ipswich Town are away to Coventry City, the Championship leaders, the first team that we see twice this season, and Town will be trying to beat them twice as well. And then after that, it's a little run of home games. After Portsmouth, actually, we've got Portsmouth off the back of Oxford on New Year's Day, and then we're into home games, Leicester, Blackpool and Blackburn and so on. We are seeing McAteer's up on his feet, so too Thomas. They're going to be alright to continue. Stolarczyk, the goalkeeper, will be mightily relieved that Ipswich Town haven't thus far mounted a comeback, given the way that he gave them a hand up. 7 minutes of added on time to be played. Well, shame it wasn't 3-2. That would have been really interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have been.
And that 7 minutes hasn't started yet because the ball's still out of play. Both teams temporarily down to 10 men at the start of this extra 7 minutes. Well, empty seats, then occupied seats behind Stolarczyk off to our left-hand side. Not too many Town fans have left early. Stolarczyk with a right footer over halfway. Kieran McKenna looking rather glum on the TV pictures down below us. We'll hear from him before 6 o'clock. Silko Thomas battling with Ashley Young. James, left-footed, tries to get Fatawu away. Leif Davis appeals for handball against him. He gets it back to Walton. Walton gets the ball to the edge of his penalty area and allows Dara O'Shea to take it on. Louis Page, another academy product, about to come on for Leicester for the remainder of this game. O'Shea out to the left-hand side. Leif Davis controls it. Up against Fatawu, goes back to Kipre. His first touch wasn't the best, then he loses it with the second. Fatawu running away from a couple of players, nudged down by Clark, free kick. Fatawu in a bit of pain. Jack Clark's going to get a yellow card. His first of the season.
Yeah, that was a bit harsh, wasn't it? Unless there was an elbow thrown there or something. That was a, very innocuous challenge. It was a foul, but I didn't really see that merited a... No, that's harsh, never a booking. Yeah,
Page is a midfielder, former Academy Player of the Year, played for England at the Under-17s World Cup. The number 25 about to come on, and he's going to replace Jordan James, who has been terrific for Leicester. From here, there and everywhere. He's being applauded by the majority inside the King Power Stadium. Off he comes, having done his job well. Big hug from his manager, Marty Cifuentes. Alan Rattle pushing the back as well as he walked past him with affection. In the 93rd minute, Leicester 3, Ipswich Town 1. Stolarczyk kicks the ball to Fatawu, who does well to keep it into Dakar. Fatawu hasn't got the energy left to go after that one. Leif Davis turns and clears up towards Hurst, nodded on though by Ricardo. Clark, infield to Kayuste. 2.5 minutes into the added on 7. Town haven't really threatened Stolarczyk enough since getting that goal back. Smolix was wrestled to the ground by Luke Thomas, who's given a yellow card correctly on the far side.
That was silly because Smolix was facing the touchline. I mean, I should think his coach was going mad. I mean, luckily, they've got the game won, but that was very unprofessional the way he approached that.
Ashley Young on this free kick, hopefully just the right man at just the right time. He's wide on the right-hand side. Good 35 yards from Stolarczyk's goal line. In comes his free kick towards the far stick. Headed away by Ricardo. Clark picks it up for Ipswich, goes back to Davis. Davis first time into the area, straight at Chowdhury. Poor from Davis. Now we'll get a chance from the throw-in. 4 minutes have gone in the added-on 7. Davis throws the ball short to Smodic. Smodic tries to chest it back to him. Eventually does get the ball to Davis. Clark on the halfway line. Clark going diagonally towards the edge of the box. O'Shea is still up there from the original set piece as an extra striker. Needs must. Silko Thomas heads it up. Touched on by Dakar. Page then gets it out to Silko Thomas. Far side up against McAteer. Coming in field away from him. And then drilling it straight at Leif Davis. Poor from young Thomas. Smodics trying to get away from Silko Thomas. Goes back to O'Shea. Clark down the line to Akpom. Cross goes Chowdhury. He's going to win the ball. Akpom battles with him. Chowdhury goes down. Free kick to Leicester.
Again, Chowdhury, very clever there. Knew he got the ball between himself and Akpom, and he just bought it, unfortunately, Akpom, and again, it's just what you want with 2 minutes left to go, a free kick in your own half.
Stolarczyk, who gave Ipswich Town a Christmas present in this game, but they've not been able to make the most of it, really. Ipswich, sadly. Akpom trying to win the ball against Page on halfway. Eventually outnumbered by blue shirts. Akpom has done very well to keep a hold of the ball. Back to Davis. Now Kipre. Available on the right hand side is Young. Kipre finds the now fullback Kiyuste, who came on with Young. Gives the ball back to him. Here is Kipre. On the left hand side, Clark coming in field, playing a ball into the centre, cleared away by Nelson, and then Hurst closes down Nelson. O'Shea challenges Dakar, brings him down, free kick. Highly unlikely now that Town are going to get anything from this game. It's gone. Just for a moment when that goal went in from Kiyuste, the mistake, the awful moment from Stolarczyk, there was a bit of hope. The Town haven't really kicked on adequately and caused Leicester enough problems.
Yeah, it goes back to moments as well, doesn't it, Brennan? If Jack Clark, could have done better with that chance at 1-0, it could have been a different game. But the truth was, 2 great goals have put Leicester in a very strong position, and the goal just after half time pretty much killed the game off.
And Clark with a chance to make it 3-2 not long after the Kiyuste goal as well. If he'd put that in for 3-2, it would have been very different perhaps. O'Shea. Town are going to keep going out to the left hand side, and Davis. The 7 minutes of added on time are up. Clark trying to run away from Chowdhury, gets through a little gap. Leicester win the ball back. Kieran McKenna's not happy. Page driving forward for Leicester City. Gives it to Silko Thomas on the far side, his fellow academy player. Now Luke Thomas ghosts in field, gives it back to Page outside the Ipswich area, left of centre. Page still has it, turns it back to Silko Thomas. Marty Cifuentes applauds. In comes across from Silko Thomas, headed down to Akpom. Akpom to Smodics on the right. Back he goes to McAteer. Looking at the referee. It's around about the halfway line now. Still no sign of him looking at his watch. Can't be very long to go at all in this game. Davis, the little header down to Jack Clark on the left-hand side outside the Leicester penalty area. Plenty of whistles, but not the most important one on the ground. That can't be far off though. And there it is. Mr. Kirk confirms a 3-1 victory for Leicester City, bringing an end to Ipswich Town's fine run this week, having beaten Stoke, having seen off Coventry, but Leicester just a step too far this afternoon here at the King Power Stadium, and Ipswich Town will have to go again against Sheffield Wednesday next Saturday at Portman Road. Overall, Barry with it, worthy of the win, weren't they really, I think?
Yes, they're two fantastic goals. I mean, that's enough to knock the wind out of your sails. We had a chance in the first half with Clark. Could have made a difference, but you don't put your chances away, you're not going to get anywhere. And the goal just after half-time pretty much put a tin hat on it. And Leicester, to be fair, we're happy just to absorb the pressure that we did have. The goal was fortunate for us, but I mean, their goalkeeper's mistake. And Clark had another chance at 3-1 that could have made it interesting in the end, but I don't think anybody could honestly say overall, we had 90 minutes to answer those two wonder strikes, and we didn't come up with any answers, unfortunately.
What about Town's performance? Were they off key a little bit? Did they not reach the heights they had hit, or just up against a good opposition you've got to give credit to? How would you assess their performance?
Yeah, I think Leicester are better than their league position reflects. We certainly weren't. Wasn't a Blackburn-esque performance, no. That's for sure. But it was better than that. But it didn't really do enough, particularly as I say in the first half. Although those two goals would have taken the wind out of anybody's sails, Clark scores that goal in the first half. You go in at 2-1 down, you've got a chance, but it didn't do enough. And I feel sorry for Hurst. He battles, he tries, but he doesn't have any chances. And if you think of the actual chances that we created, or the shots on goal, I don't know how many there were today on behalf of Ipswich, but they wouldn't have been a lot. I think you'd have kept them on the fingers of one hand.
What can Town do, if anything, to make life more productive and easier for George Hurst?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it would be totally against modern football, but, to have someone play just off him, maybe Smodics, just to give him, give the defenders another problem rather than just concentrating on him. I think it's extremely difficult for the guy, and as I say, you can't talk about his goal ratio because he doesn't get any chances. It's not as though he's missing 3 or 4 chances a match. He's just not getting any chances.
And in terms of Leicester, I mean, there's so many people on this list. They're top 6 contenders, aren't they? Surely they've got to be.
Yes, they played so well today. They played really, really well. Their midfield, as we said, were good. Skip was excellent. They were really mobile, and the front 4 can give you problems. Ayew is a very clever, experienced player. You've got Amadidi on the left, who's brilliant and been at bigger clubs than Leicester. And the goal by Cordoba-Young was fantastic as well. So they have got something. So I think they're in a slightly false position. I guess it's like a lot of teams. They can do it at the King Power. Can they do it away? That's the real test.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not beyond the realms that we might be back here perhaps later on this season. But Ipswich Town's 23-year run of being unable to win here continues. Sadly, this afternoon they've been beaten 3-1 by Leicester City. Your thoughts on the game? Very welcome.